Hello and welcome to the channel. I've got a Crate Vintage Club 50. Not sure why it's called a 50, because it's got 4 EL84s, 6 BQ5s, which to my maths is 30 watts. But anyway, this is in for a recap. It's I think it's got some kind of oscillation problem. Not plugged it in yet, but looking at some of these caps, there's a slight bulging on that one, and that one feels a bit bulgy, so does that one. I think this amp was made, I'm not actually sure when it was made, but it's over 20 years old anyway. Excuse the cars, I've got the door open. So it's over 20 years old. It's certainly ready for some capacitors. We've got 4 at 47, the other one's up in that corner. 1000 microfarad at 16 volts. We've got 2000 microfarad there. Not sure whether they're for the bias, but we have got the reverb on here, so it could be for those. Now that noise you can hear there is Pink, who's eating some dinner, and Shaft, the dog, was trying to take it off her, and I think he's been administered a corrector. So this last cap here, sorry about that, digressing there, is 100 microfarad at 450. So check out these pots. These pots aren't very nice. There's 2 of the knobs missing, 3 of the knobs missing, even they're into the board as well, like a thin nylon shaft. So those aren't great. So we hope all those work, because if they don't, I don't know where we're going to get some of those from. So I'm going to run this amplifier up and test all these capacitors just to make sure we've got no leakage going on here on any of the grids on the tubes, because otherwise this board's just going to be in and out and in and out. It'll be a bit of an okey cokey. The board is warped here as well. You can see, you may not be able to say it, actually probably can just see that on the camera. So the board is actually warped to there. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I don't think this board's ever been out before. There is a top side repair. I don't know if you can see that with the cat there. Let's just go in a bit more. You can see there's a top side repair there. So I think while we've got this board out, it's 100k, maybe a plate resistor or something. Actually, you know, that's actually strange, because that's only repaired on one side. So I wonder if someone's cut that out for testing purposes at some time, and then just soldered it back. There's a blob of solder on this, I think it's a FET, I think. So it looks like someone's pulled that one leg on that and tested it. There's another resistor there. Where's my pointer? It's gone. Anyway, there's another resistor there looks like it's been cut on one leg, pulled out and tested, and also a 1 meg there that's been swapped on there. So there has been a few topside repairs. I'm starting to spot more and more as we go on. Now some of these smaller capacitors, zoom the camera around there, some of these smaller capacitors, you can't see the values on them, the way they've actually turned them, and they've got glue on and various things. Some of them are 10 microfarad. These smaller ones you can't see the values at all because they're underneath, which is very kind of them when they built this. Golden rule is always show the values at the top, but obviously someone's not bothered. So apart from that, really nothing else we can see. If we go along, if we look at this mains cable, you can see this dirge of I'm not sure what it is. I would imagine it's some kind of glue that's actually still loose. I think I'm just going to leave that. It's not going anywhere. It moves about, but it's solid enough it won't go either way, so I think we'll leave that. The ground's nice and tight. So we'll run this up and have a bit of a test. This amp has 4 6BQ5s EL84s, and it's got 4 12X7s ECC83s. Whether part of this is for the reverb, I don't know. I've not got a schematic for this amp yet. I really need to download one. But really all I'm going to do to this amplifier is recap it. The caps are on the way and they are supposed to be delivered today. Whether they will be or not, I don't know. But it says out for delivery. These coupling capacitors are these Weimars or Weimar. Whether that's the same company as the ones that we got in the Vox, because this amp is from the States. But they need testing. They'll probably be alright though. They'll probably be okay. But we'll test for leakage anyway. But before we fire this amplifier up, it is time for lunch. Before we take this board out, we're going to just check round and see if there is a spot of leakage going on any of these coupling capacitors. So, let's see if I can get this meter in shot there. So we're looking on the control grids. Nothing on there. Just turn these volumes down a bit. Pins 7. Nothing on there. Nothing on there. Oh, that must be wired differently. Yeah. Yes, we'd expect voltage on there, wouldn't we? Yeah, that's the phase inverter. Negative 15. This amp's cathode fixed bias. Right, I've just got this board. I just took the screws out of this board for the crate amp, and just look at it, how it's bowed, and it's as we've tried to get this out, it's kind of flirted up at this end and is now wedged in. That is like a bow and arrow. So there's only the screws really that were putting pressure on that. Right, I've got this board out the crate amp, and now you can just see how bowed this board is. Look, really bowed. And let's just turn it that way, and slightly, very slightly, but mainly on, it's just on this one end where it's got bowed. It works okay, just Don't know, maybe that's just over time with the heat and things, probably. We're recapping this board, so all these are coming out. We've got all these caps, they've all arrived. We'd ordered them, the small ones, so basically all of it. We'll also be changing that resistor, it looks a little baked as well, and anything else that we find on there. Right, we've got quite a few of the caps in on this board, and as I'm going through it, and I didn't notice this before, but if we look there, you can see the terrible testers being at it again, and that just looks like it's been tacked on. So I had to order some of these, and they've just come in. They're 47 ohms. So just show you what's left to check. So I'll just show you what's left to change. There's a couple of capacitors there to change, and then these small ones you can see, and they're dotted around. We've also got somewhere, excuse me for wobbling this board about, so if we look there, you can see there's a 1 meg resistor there that's just been tacked, and there's also a couple more somewhere. There's a 220k there, look, that's just looks like it's been tacked on, so we need to change that. And I think there's one other somewhere, but I can't see it for the minute, but looking through the camera. So we're going to get on and change all of those, and then we'll be getting this board back in. Right, this board's recapped. We've also changed this 470 ohm resistor, which, remember, that one was a bit burnt. It said on the schematic 5 watts, but the one I took out was 3 watts, but I've put a 5 watt in there. Now I've also changed the coupling caps to the output tubes, just as a precaution. Seems silly not doing that. I mean, I could go on forever and change all the coupling caps. Those are the ones that see the most voltage, and furthermore, if they fail, they're the ones that's going to cause the most damage with the output tubes, leaking voltage onto the grids. So I've swapped those, and I think we're about ready to get this board back in now and give it a run up and a test. Of course, I still need to get some silicon to go around these capacitors. I'm going to have to nip out and fetch some of that because we've run out. So let's get this board back in the in its chassis and see if it runs. Right, I've got this amp up and running. This gain on this amp is incredible, and we've got a very microphonic 12X7, so that's something we're going to have to look at definitely, without question. But we shall turn those down now. I'm in the process of biasing this amplifier, and I've checked the voltage drop across each side of the transformer. I've also checked the HT voltage, and look at that, 392 volts we've got going through those tubes. My days. So I'm just going to switch off now and just check that all the voltage is drained, and then I am going to check, sorry about that, and then I'm going to check across the transformers, each side of the transformer, for the impedance. Yep, nothing on there. Yep, right. Just check that center tap there. No, nothing on there. Right, let's just test these then. So this side, heat coming through here. There's no wonder that board's warped. Heat's unbelievable. I can feel it now, it's turned off. Let me just get onto that fuse. .104.9. we'll call that 105, won't we? So that'll be the left side. Right, let's have a look at the right side. 74.2. A mile of difference between those. Yep, 74, well, 74.5. Just check that one again, just for good measure. Yeah, 105. Yeah, could explain the offsetting the voltage drop on the transformer. So we've got 5.67 on the left. That is from centre tap to one side of the output transformer. So 5.67 divided by 105 equals 54 milliamps. But of course that's to be divided by 2 because there's 2 tubes. That's 27 milliamps. Times that by 392, and they're only biased at 10.5 watts. So right side, that's centre tap to the other side of the transformer there, that's the wire for that, and we have 4.54, and we divide that by our rather odd 75, and that gives me 60 milliamps. Divide that by 2, so there's 30 milliamps going through that tube. So we times that by 392 and we get 11.8. So on the left side we've got 10.5 and on the right side we've got 11.8. So we've got a mismatch there, but considering that that relates to that and that relates to that, there's 30 ohms difference there, so that would probably explain that that offset there. Less resistance, more current, therefore 11.8 watts, 10.5 for the 105 there. So those tubes are probably reasonably well matched. Unfortunately the output transformer isn't. However, it's only a watt out, it's not excessive. If it was more than that then I'd be worried, but only a watt. So I think that's fine. We'll just leave that with that, because to do that bias there's no presets on this, so the board would have to come out again and it'd be a lot of fiddling about and another hour messing around, and there's not really much point. That'll run fine like that. It's not over 100% on either side. Well, it's just about 100%, isn't it, on one side and a bit less on the other, so it's fine. There's nothing excessive going on there. Right, I'll get the knobs on it, and then we're going to take this and put it on the Marshall 4x12, and we're going to look for see if we can find a tube to replace the pingy one, the microphonic one. Right, we've got this crate on the 4x12, and this is the second time I've had it on the 4x12. So the first time it sounded absolutely dreadful, and there's 5 optocouplers in this amp which all go across the gain stages on these 2 channels. So I swapped all the optocouplers and the clean channel sounds mint. Now this gain channel does exactly what it says on the tin, gain. So just check out, if I drop down that, turn that up. monstrous amount of gain. Make a cup of tea while that was dying down. And absolutely, you only have to touch the volume. So rusty at this heavy metal style. I really don't play much of it at all. I used to when I was younger. Rusty, but you get the picture. That is ferocious. You really can't get this channel down. Get it clean. It's still got that growl even with at such a low level there. And again, this channel great, but you only have to touch that volume. The guy that owns this amp plays in a reggae band. How on earth you keep this amp clean? I mean, channel A is relatively clean, but this channel is balmy. So what I thought we might try with this amp is to put a 12AU7 in it and see if we can reduce some of that gain. So this first stage, let's try it in here. I'm not sure whether both these stages are for this first channel, or whether they share each triode of that. So let's see what that does. Now that has dropped the gain on this channel. So that's allowed me to get that cleaner. Let's see what it's done to this channel. Ah, yes. So now that is clean. Oh, yes. It's got a touch of Angus Young about it, that now. So let's put the full gain on. It's still got loads of gain even with 12AU7. Whoa, whoa. I can feel dropping the E string to D coming on there. Yes. But that's a much sweeter overdrive with the 12AU7 in, well, I think so anyway. Let me know what you think in the comments. That sounds pretty nice. And there's still plenty of gain there. Sounds really sweet with that, and let's just see how clean we can get this channel now. Let's just try it. Let's just get. So that's single coil now. So I'm using my Les Paul, and I've got coil splits on this, so. Yeah, much better. Even in humbucker, so let's just try a bit more top on. We've got full. Oh, we're not. That PM tube is. He's got a touch of Mr. Tambourine Man about him. I think that. I mean, this amp. He's still way loud enough. Let's go on to the other channel. Whoa. Oh dear. So at a lower level, that's much more manageable. EQ on this amp is very keen. Bit all or nothing. Once you get them set right, it's a great sound. Before I changed those optocouplers, this amp sounded dreadful, and I don't fully understand how they work on these gain channels. They're not just about the channel switching, and I did start reading up about it, but when you're just into tube amps and pure tube amps, you kind of lose interest in reading about any form of a semiconductor. Read up enough to know that they were probably tired after 30 years. Apparently the LEDs inside the optocouplers just get tired and they don't function properly. So I think what I'm going to do with this, I think I'm going to recommend that the customer tries this with the 12AU7 in it and just see how he gets on with it. So that'll do it for this one. So thanks for watching, and you all take good care of yourselves, and I will see you all in another video. Bye bye for now.